How are you doing today?
I'm really good, actually. This has been a really pleasant press junket, which is nice. They're normally kind of. I used to party a lot more when I first was doing them, so maybe that's a lot of why I'm a married guy now. So maybe that's why I'm enjoying it more.
Oh, well, listen, like you should still party a little bit because you've got a lot to celebrate.
Yeah.
As I am coming from Ireland, I have to point out, I don't know how many people realize this, but there is an Irish connection to the creation of the Guardians of the Galaxy. It is the incompetence of one Mr. Emmett J. Scanlon, who in the very first movie
Yes.
kind of helped them come together,
Yeah.
through no action of his own. So I like to think that in a small way, Ireland helped to create the Guardians of the Galaxy.
My name was not originally Gunn; it was McGilgun. So it's Ireland has affected the Guardians of the Galaxy in many more ways than you would think.
So watching this, it really feels like there's nothing left on the table. Do you know what I mean? It's like you got everything off your chest in terms of the story. But was there any kind of pushback at all on how you kind of told the ending to it? Was anyone shocked when you said, here's what I envisioned the end of this trilogy being, be it the actors or people at Disney?
No, actually, it's like, and when you say Disney, it's really just Kevin Feige and Lou D'Esposito who I talked to. But I turned in my treatment. I worked really hard on this script. This was the hardest script I ever had to write, precisely because of what you're talking about making sure that each character got the story that they deserved and that I stuck the landing. They were pretty happy throughout. Like there was never any sort of fight on anything,
It's just, it's interesting because I guess going into this, I had an idea maybe of how it might end, one or two ideas of how it might end. And then the ending we got was absolutely not the ending I was expecting, but was still very kind of, I was like, I see what he's done and it's completely left the field. And I was happy with it because in a weird way, I was surprised, but also unexpected. Like it was such an odd, like I'm still processing the ending for it. Like, were the actors surprised at where you kind of left them at the end of this, maybe?
I really don't know if they were surprised or not. I know they were very moved, and that's what was important to me. And I know that they all, read the script and were crying and doing all that stuff when they were reading it. And they were all very sad about the ending of this group of Guardians going in different directions. But I don't know how surprised they were. I think the audience is in for a few surprises for sure, and that's pretty cool.
For that final day of proper shooting, was that particularly emotional?
There were a couple of scenes that were particularly emotional, and one of them was really the hallway fight scene. The day we shot that, well, we didn't shoot it in one day. We shot that over 5 days. But on the last day we shot that, it was the last day that all five of, I don't know how many, let's see, it's Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Pom Clementieff, Karen Gillan, and Sean Gunn, who plays Rocket on set. So they were all there, and that was the last time that we were all going to shoot with all of them. That day was very emotional, but also really beautiful. And I felt so grateful as I do now to have had this group of people around me, because you probably see it from being on this circuit. People coming in who profess to be friends but actually aren't. And I think that everyone around here can see that we actually do love each other, and we have become a family through all this, and it's really nice to see.
And one very quick final one, Marvel's first F-bomb. And there was a few scenes in this, particularly close to the end, where I was, again, happily surprised by maybe pushing the envelope of what I expected to see in a Marvel movie. Was there any kind of shock to that when you pushed, I guess, a bit further than we had previously seen?
The F-bomb was something I was concerned about because it was so funny. So it was like I didn't expect him to say that. It's not in the script. I said that to him I have a microphone so I can talk to Chris all the time when we're on set. And I said, and I told him to say that line. And he said it, and it was just so freaking funny on the day. But then a lot of time things are funny on the day, and you don't know if they're going to be funny in the cut. But we put it in the cut, and it was just so damn funny. And I was like, oh, man, Disney's going to make me take this out, aren't they? They're going to they've never made me do anything, and I'm like, this is the first time they're going to make me do something, and I'm going to be bummed out. And And Kevin Feige just said one day, I said, what about that F-bomb? And he's like, well, the Russo brothers had one in Endgame at one point and, got a big applause. But at the end of the day, the Russo brothers were like, they didn't want that to be their legacy. And Kevin said, so if you want that to be your legacy, then sure. And I said, Kevin, if you think you're scaring me away instead of just enticing me even more to put this in the movie, you're crazy. And so that's how it happened. And then he laughed his ass off.
Well, I mean, what a legacy.
Yeah.
What a legacy, James. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, buddy.
We'll all fly away together into the forever and beautiful sky.